Have you ever wondered what it would take for a white belt to submit a black belt? We put this to the test so that you don't have to. I decided to go head to head with my coach in a series of rounds where each round my handicap gets greater and greater to see at what point could I secure a victory against a black belt. Welcome to Arrogant Bodybuilder Wannabe White Belt versus Humble Gym Owner Black Belt. Round 1. We establish a baseline just to demonstrate how far the skill difference is between myself and my coach. My game plan here was just to pull guard and see if I could last a whole round without being submitted. Spoiler alert, I can't. I try to go for a lumberjack sweep and I am punished and end up in a stack pass. I'm framing against Adam's hip with my right arm, but needless to say, it's all in vain. He doesn't mind letting me chill in this position to cook the beans a bit, because if it's not obvious on camera, actually having a very hard time breathing. After he consolidates into side control, I know that he's going to work this knee on belly. And if my breathing was difficult before, it's even worse now. I spent a long time in knee on belly here. It sucks. Once he's finished humbling this arrogant white belt, he transitions to full mount and starts playing shenanigans with my lapel. I know what he's up to. I have an inkling of his game, so I try to shut it down, but he punishes me by pinning my arm and he gets the lapel anyway. After attempting to prevent him from passing the lapel up to his other hand and choking me, I focus my attention to try and regain some form of guard and step over his leg and try and feed his leg into my half guard, but it was too little, too late, and he gets the sub. We reset. With nothing to lose, I shoot for a blast double and end up with a single leg. And here, my lack of stand-up skills is really obvious as I try and muscle my way into a takedown, but end up getting sprawled on. After making me sweat, he steps his foot over and goes for his attack. Feeds his other leg over my arm to lock up the bow and arrow choke. We reset for the third and final go, and at this point, I'm pretty buggered. I look to set up a sacrifice throw, but I end up just pulling him straight on top. To be honest, I'm lucky I didn't pull him into side control with that attempt. After a bit of fandangling, I end up in close guard and try to hug his head to stay alive. He stands up for a close guard escape, and I go for the double over lumberjack sweep. But as we learnt from earlier, this is not going to work for me. So I revert to a ball sack attack, but it's ineffective. Having decided that my punishment has not been enough, he comes up here on his toes and applies an immense amount of top pressure straight down onto my neck. Honestly, I wasn't going to tap from top pressure alone, but to be honest, I was pretty close to it. He ends up in full mount and starts working high mount to try and isolate one of my arms and get the finish with a head and arm triangle. After a failed bridge attempt, he abandons the head and arm triangle and wraps my arm up for a gift wrap, comes in with the Kimura grip. After a cheeky glance at the clock, he gets the tap.
Wait till round 2.
In round 2, we tried to even the playing field a bit and we started in back control where I have the seatbelt and my hooks in. I quickly realize I'm outmatched in this position and try to come on top and transition to mount, but I end up in his X guard and he has a pretty good handle of my ankle. He elevates my ankle off the mat here so we can wrap it up, and he gets the finish with a straight footlock.
There we go.
Round 3, my handicap has intensified where I have pretty much an armbar, but I haven't yet broken the grip. Once he was able to clear my top leg, he was easily able to sit up. I tried for a failed attempt at a triangle, but he was able to stack me, pass me by switching his base straight to side control. Feeling as though I needed to take some action, I tried to scramble back up, but he wins the scramble and ends up on top. After working to isolate my far arm, he sits over top to attack an armbar. Round 4, we've stepped up the handicap where he starts deep in my triangle choke. I'm trying to gain some space to prevent him from stacking. However, I'm unable to hold my triangle together and my triangle opens and I lose the position. Now it's only a matter of time before I get subbed. In the 5th round, he starts deep in a rear naked choke. And this is where I finally get the sub. And that's what it takes for a white belt to submit a black belt. Thanks for watching.